Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Automotive Carnage. Today's episode, you might be wondering why I'm standing out in the desert, in the middle of nowhere, on top of a clipped out old Mitzi van. Well, it has something to do with that little blue car over there. So as you can see, today's episode is all about going bush and finding your car. Now last episode we got our Ford Fairmont gear, cheapest one in the country, and ripped the guts out of it. We're keeping the motor, we're keeping the transmission. I found out that there was a torque converter that was broken on that thing. So somehow they managed to smash the internals of the torque converter to 1,000 pieces. So I'll get a new one of those from my mates down at All Ford Motors in Bayswater, and that will be the driveline ready to go. I've got the engine loom sitting here, everything that I need, and I've got the car sitting up the front that I will not be disposing of until we have finished the project, in case there's some sort of computer or pedal or something that I need that I didn't realise. So the idea is to take something from the 60s or the 70s and put our modern driveline into it. A small problem with that is that the engine out of the Ford is very wide. It's 750 millimeters wide from valve cover to valve cover at its widest point. A lot of the engines out of the area of body that we're looking at were a lot more narrow. And especially the ones out here were designed for the straight 6 engines as opposed to the wider V configuration. But never fear, some of them were still suitable for what we want to do. We're going to head out there now and we will go around a few spots that I know of where there is some old Kingswoods, some old Valiants, some Fairlanes, and a very special car that will be coming home with us. So without further ado, let's head out into the bush and let's see what we can find. So here it is. This is the car that started the whole idea of making a 60s, 70s bush hack with modern running gear. VE Valiant, Regal. Oh, look at it. It is just beautiful. I absolutely love the shape of these cars. It still has the slant 6 in there. It's got the high performance manifold on it. It's just wonderful. Like, there's so much of this car left that we could really work with it, and I was really looking forward to putting that V8 into this car. Unfortunately, we cannot, because the distance between those strut towers, sorry about the shadow, but it's that time of day, those strut towers is 720 millimeters. Our engine is 750 millimeters. So unfortunately, our engine will not fit into this car. What a shame, because it is, oh man, this will look so cool, hooning around the bush with a beautiful V8 grille in it. I mean, it's still got interior, steering wheel, dash, you know, there's enough there to do something with. It would have been great. Anyway, so that's why we're on this mission. I'm going to go look at more bodies and more chassis and see what you guys reckon. So let's start with these ones over here. What do we got? Whatever that is, there's too much missing, cannot be bothered. That is a VC VB Commodore, upside down, too much missing, don't really like Commodores. That's a Honda Civic with no roof, that's definitely not going to work. Another Commodore, there's a bit more to it, but again, it's a Commodore, so meh, not that interesting. Check this out, so another Kingswood here. Still has part of its diff, still has its doors, still has its B-pillar, which is handy, but no front clip, the whole front chassis rail and everything. That's all gone, but there's another Kingswood that we could use. That would be awesome. I wonder if it's still got tags. Oh, that's a panel van. Should we do a panel van, guys? What is it? Yep, it's a Holden panel van. That's pretty cool. Old commercial vehicle, no diff though. Leaf springs, got the front rails. Don't really like vans though. There's not a Cortina hiding back here, but it's got fire damage. And the engine bay is way too small for our V8. There's a VK. But again, it's a VK, so that's not that interesting to work with. But that's alright. This is only the first stop, guys. As I said, that VE Valiant is the car that started this whole idea. I've always wanted to do something with that body. I reckon it just looks awesome. So anyway, I'm going to show you around a few other spots quickly and show you a few other bodies that we can use. And we'll put it to you lot to see what do you reckon. Anyway, there's a Ford Fairlane out here somewhere. Now how awesome is this old girl? Ford Fairlane 500. I don't know chassis codes on my Fords. There's a bit missing around the front, but that's okay, I'm sure we could find it. I can tell you now that that engine bay is too narrow. That's not going to work. Bugger! A Ford engine and a Ford car would have been pretty cool. But anyway, we'll show you around. This thing looks awesome. Again, there's still heaps of good parts on here, plenty of chrome trim. Because we live in such an arid climate, it's like the Arizona cars that they find in America. They just don't rust. You know, on the East Coast here, they just survive a lot better. Someone's already nicked the badges on it. The rear bumper, that's still in good nick. Taillight surrounds, they're okay, they'll polish up alright. But yeah, these are just some of the cars that we have out here. Now here's a really good contender. I love me a good HQ Kingswood. And this thing, although rusty, is perfect for what I plan on doing. Most of it's there that we can work with. Still got front hubs. That engine bay, mate, that's plenty big enough for our 5.4. Look, it's still got the front clip, the front bumper. It's wonderful. It's faring a lot better than that Chrysler. Ain't got no roof on that. It's wonderful. Oh, bugger. Yep, someone's chopped the B pillar out. If that B pillar was there, this is it, man. Will have been sold. Bucket seats. Man, this thing is just wonderful. Isn't it got the rear diff still in there? It's just, oh, it would have been in great condition. Exactly for what we wanted to do to it. Oh, those taillights, I think it's an HZ. I don't know. I do not know my distinct codes and how to pick them. Hey, maybe this will tell us. HJ. There you go. That was a straight 6, I think. In fact, I think that's the block over there by my car. Now here's one I almost forgot about. Old Falcon. The roof's a bit gone, but I almost forgot about this sucker sitting out here all by itself. I mean, that steel bumper's in pretty good nick actually, that's not too bad. No engine, it's, whoa, that's a big mound of dirt in the middle there. I mean, if we make it convertible, we could make it work. I have to measure that engine bay though, I'm not sure if it's big enough. But that's beautiful, bullet holes in the door. Plenty of chrome left on it. I don't think any of those doors are going to be opening anytime soon, unfortunately. But oh, that rear chrome is pretty straight as well. That's in good nick. Yeah, bit of a shame really. Would have been a beautiful old girl to restore. Anyway, unfortunately, that's just another victim of the bush. Might come and get that chrome off it one day, but we'll see. On to the next one. And some of them you just can't save. There's not much left of that old FH. So, whilst out looking for a Rex, we seem to have misplaced the track. And now we're just kind of in the bush here somewhere. We'll find a way, hopefully. So right here I've come across a rather interesting pile of bits and pieces. So it's old fenders and runners and rims and steering wheels for what we believe to be an old Model T Ford. And over here, I mean it's upside down, but it does appear to be the chassis for it as well. Still has the steering wheel and the gauges in there. The block is in there, but no sump, and I don't think the head's on that we can see. The old man's just found the bonnet. That looks awesome. That's still savable for someone.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Hubs and heads and everything. But I could picture this chassis with my V8 in it. This one's another chassis, it's a bit more heavy duty, but it's been chopped and hacked and the front end's been smashed in. A couple of fenders and firewall still okay condition. So that's one contender. Do a full-on old early 1900s rat rod, hot rod style with the engine. What else can we find? Yeah, now this is what some people would consider their holy grail of bush finds. It's not sure exactly what year it is, but it is an LC Holden Torana. It did have the 138 in it, or the 2250, if you want to call it cubic centimeters. These things are pretty rare, pretty desirable now, and we've stumbled upon this one thanks to a good friend who gave us a tip off out here in the desert. So yeah, this thing's a beast. It's savable. She's a bit dented, a bit rusty as you expect for a very old car, but all the chrome work is still in relatively good nick. Some of the doors work. It's got this half cage that's been put in there, but It's not even welded or bolted in. We still have parts of the dash and the steering wheel. Plenty of room for activities in here. No engine or transmission, but it does have the drive shaft and the diff still in it. And most importantly, we still have tags. Now those are very hard to find. Well, it's hard to find a car with them intact. Also, while we're here, we've got a Mitsubishi Sigma, which isn't all that interesting. Someone's pillaged the engine but left the transmission behind, and the Mitsi van I was standing on before. Now the Mitsi van's boring, but what was in it was this. So we've got a XW XY bumper, a bumper I haven't quite identified yet, but it is a bit squashed. Plus, if we look back in the actual van here, we still have a door. I make it out to be a XC XB Falcon door for a hardtop, but I could be completely wrong. And then some extractors off a 6-cylinder hiding in the back there. So I'm really chuffed to find this Torana right here. As I said, I was tipped off by a good friend of mine. Yes, it will be coming home with us. I'm actually not the hugest fan of Toranas, but I know there's a lot of people out there who are looking for bits and pieces, so here is a good base for someone to start building something with. And who knows, if no one's interested, we might end up with our own little road called General Mayhem. You know, put some sort of a V8 in there and make it run out bush here. Could be interesting, but I'd rather see it back on the road. Anyway, on to the next site and see what else we can find. This is what I'm talking about, boys and girls. Here we have a MX-32 Toyota Cressida. It has a 4M engine. These things were relatively revolutionary for Australia when they came out. I mean, we've got a coil sprung rear axle on this thing. Rear drums, front discs, everything is here, including the engine, which is just great. The distributor is completely gone though, so unfortunately we won't be starting this engine. We have bonnet, we have all our doors, the glass is smashed but it's okay, roof just needs to be pushed back out. We have our bonnet, we have interior, steering wheel, dashboard. This, oh mate, this could really work. I like this car. This is my personal favorite to work, and the best part is that our engine, our wide 750mm engine will fit between these struts no problem. They are over 800mm wide. So we can even have room for extractors. Now the really cool thing too is look how small that steering box is. So it's not going to be very intrusive when we go to slot our engine in and try to fit our extractors in there. Yeah, the colour's crap. It's a horrible poo brown. The vinyl roof is pretty much all but gone. That's the one for me. Anyway, let's head back home. I got a couple more I need to show you. Unfortunately, I won't be filming them. They're a bit too far out of town, but I do have some photos to show you. So I'll show you those when we get back into the shed. Alright, so we're back here in the shed now, and as I mentioned, there are two vehicles that are a little too far out of town that I didn't have time to go and film, and they are an HT Kingswood. There's photos now on the screen. That is actually a really likely contender. The engine bay is wide enough for our engine, and there's enough of the body left that we can use it. It's got all its doors and panel work. The only concern with this is that I'll have to rebuild the entire suspension system. It's all been taken out of it, as you can see. As someone slipped it on its roof and just yanked all the springs out. And I know that's sacrilegious putting a Ford engine into a Holden body, but how? Who cares? And then the only other car that I really wish wasn't so destroyed was a Valiant Charger. This thing has been sitting out here for a very long time. Unfortunately, it's caught fire, the roof has collapsed, people have trashed it since then, and there's some usable parts on it, but unfortunately we can't actually use it for what we want to do. One, the struts are too narrow, and B, I mean, just look at it. The thing is very destroyed, unfortunately. There are some really cool bodies out there. Now, we have all the Falcons and Fairlanes. We found out all the engine bays are too narrow. That won't work unless we take the whole front K-frame, which I'm not too keen on. So we can exclude those. There's plenty of Kingswoods out there, both HT and HQs. Now, those could fit the engine, but it's just a matter of taking a whole bunch of them and stick them together to make one car. The VE Valiant, which started this whole idea in my head, is unfortunately too narrow. And then you've got the Toyota Cressida, which most of that car is there. Like everything that we need for our purpose, it's all sitting there in that car. The Torana. The Torana is not being used for a bash car. Do not fret. We're not going to be bashing the Torana. I'm bringing that in purely so that I can get it into a rolling chassis form and then pass it on to the next Torana nut. As I said, me personally, I don't actually like the shape of them, but I do appreciate that a lot of people like these cars. So I'm going to get it in, get it rolling, and then pass it on to someone else to finish it and get it road legal. So that's all of our cars. I'm pretty well set on the car that I know I want to use, but I want to open up to you guys and see what you reckon. Give us your thoughts on what car we should butcher up and turn it into our next bash car. So what's it going to be? You guys going to vote for Holden HQ, Holden HT? Should I go save that DeVille and put it in that, make it a convertible DeVille? That would be amusing. The Toyota, or do I persevere with a Valiant? You guys let me know in the comments below, and I'll take into consideration when I actually choose a body to use for our next Bush Bash car. Until then guys, we shall see you then next time.